when you die of COVID-19, you typically die of cytokine storm. When you die of Alzheimer's, you die of cytokine drizzle. It's the same cytokines, but they're going along for 20 years instead of 20 days. And so that we have to get rid of the drivers.
I can only imagine for families who are affected by Alzheimer's and other neurodegenerative diseases, seeing this improvement, feeling like you're getting a family member back, seeing more of the old person must be an incredibly moving and just thrilling experience to try and regain that person who you were in fear of losing. How far away are we from seeing a solution for everyone who's currently got this? What needs to happen also? I mean, where are the key stumbling blocks before you can be very confident that a combination of new drugs, personalized medicine, the other things you've talked about are going to lead to 100% reversal for everyone afflicted by these illnesses?
That is such a great question, and I ask myself that almost every day. So what we've seen is we've seen people go from scores of 18 out of 30 on the MoGA score. So this is early dementia to a perfect 30, and that's been fantastic outcome. We've seen people go from 0, which is end stage dementia, to 9. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but they're able to dress themselves again. They're able to speak again. They're able to interact. Interestingly, I got a nasty email from a guy a couple of years ago who said, you said people should only do this sort of protocol if they're in relatively early stages. Well, let me tell you something. My wife has a MoCA score of 0. She's in a nursing home, and she's gotten a lot better, and we're happy with her. And if we'd have listened to you, we wouldn't have done this. So, okay, I was happy to hear she'd done so much better. But we've never seen anyone go from 0 to a perfect 30. That's my goal before I leave this earth. Could we get people? And as you indicated, what would it take? We don't know yet, but we do know there are 3 things you have to do. You have to get rid of the drivers, and they are anything that's increasing ongoing inflammation. When you die of COVID-19, you typically die of cytokine storm. When you die of Alzheimer's, you die of cytokine drizzle. It's the same cytokines, but they're going along for 20 years instead of 20 days. And so that we have to get rid of the drivers. The second thing is we've got to build up resilience. So we need to make it so that you are able to make and store new synapses. Now, with those 2 alone, we can take people that are doing this, but all we do is we stop it. They completely stop it. And we see that all the time. They don't go down anymore. And by the way, there's a wonderful assisted living facility in San Diego. The first one that's open that does our protocol was opened by Dr. Heather Sanderson. She's done an absolutely great job, and it's called Marama. So in their case, nobody's getting worse. I mean, this is, again, unheard of for assisted living. So these people are coming in late when they need assisted living. But the trick then is what you were talking about. How do you then return them to normal? So now you've got to add back. You might have stopped the process, but you've already lost a lot of synapses, again, which is why we want to start people as early as possible. So now you've got to build that back. What does it take? Well, first of all, stem cells are going to occupy an important therapeutic locale in the future. So we're going to be able to rebuild things now, partly with those, but it's not yet perfect. Some of the reprogramming that David Sinclair has been talking about, which he's gotten good results with ocular disease, great. This may be very helpful in your brain. I think intranasal trophic factors, things like devunatide, by the way, which is a fragment of activity-dependent neurotrophic peptide. These things are going to be very important. Nerve growth factor, insulin, BDNF, all of these things are going to be helpful intranasally because you can get them into the brain. But some of these have already failed because they tried them as monotherapies. This is more complicated than that. You have to do the right thing at the right time. What we've seen is this is a lot more like surgery than it is like old-fashioned medicine. You've got to know what your armamentarium is. You do the right things in the right sequence at the right time, you get the best outcomes. So I, like you, am fascinated by this question. What will it take for a full cure for people who are at end stage? We're clearly not there yet, but it's going to take more on the evaluation, and it's going to take, which I think that part we can do. It's going to take more on the stem cell side to restore the lost synapses, which is why I believe the first best way things that we can do now is to get people in those first two stages. If we could just get people to come in for prevention or earliest reversal, dementia would be a rare problem. And that's the thing. You've got a long run up where you can do a lot. It's those people who and I feel bad, poor people like Bruce Willis, such a great guy, such an icon in Hollywood. And all of these people are, they get these problems, and people know for years something's not quite right, but they're told nothing can be done. They're not really evaluated enough. And it's so sad to see a loss of these wonderful human beings. My hope is we won't see the loss of such human beings in the future. We will have active prevention and early reversal.